Hillary Clinton's in Charleston, South Carolina. She is, of course, at a fundraiser. It's at a private residence. Well, youth activist Ashley Williams decided that her and her friend are going to pay their way in so they could protest Hillary Clinton to her face. Whoa. Now, they paid the $500. They got in there. They got very close to her. She's, as you're going to see here in a little bit, giving a speech. And they're going to bring up the issue of what she said back in the 1990s about super predators. Now, that was a loaded term that people generally use against African Americans. In this case, they were talking about African American kids. And I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I want you to hear from Hillary Clinton back in the 90s first so you know what all this is about. Then I'll show you what Ashley Williams did. I want you to have the context first. And this was Hillary Clinton arguing in favor of the crime bill that Bill Clinton did pass into law that, among other things, did 3 strikes and you're out, and loaded up our prisons and broke every record we had on incarceration rates. So it had tremendous real-world effect, and this was her arguing in favor of it. Watch.
Not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
And when I ran that for the first time, I was blown away by so many parts of that. The racially loaded term of super predator, you know, no empathy, no conscience, like they're not human, and then bring them to heel. Oof, that's ugly. So, well, that's exactly what Ashley Williams wrote on her protest sign. Now, let's see what happened in that room when she began that protest.
Ensure that South Carolina became the first state with body cameras. There's more work to be done, but got to lay down these markers. You got to build toward common sense gun reform, criminal justice reform, and all the like. So I think we've got a very, I think we've got somebody saying here, we have to bring them
apologize for mass incarceration.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I'm not a super predator, Hillary Clinton.
Okay, fine, we'll talk about it.
You apologize to black people for mass incarceration?
Well, can I talk, and then maybe you can listen to what I say? Okay, fine. Thank you very much. There's a lot of issues in this campaign. The very first speech that I gave back in April was about criminal justice reform and about
predators.
You're being rude. That's not appropriate.
Super predators. That's rude.
This is not appropriate.
That's rude.
Now, do you want to hear the facts? You just want to talk?
I know that you called black youth super predators in 1994. Please explain the record. Explain it to us. You owe black people an apology.
Well,
excuse us. That's an inappropriate
if you will give me a chance to talk, I'll approach your subject. You know what? Nobody's ever asked me before. You're the first person to ask me, and I'm happy to address it, but you are the first person to ask me here. Okay, back to the issues.
Not the right way to handle it. Okay, so all the people in the background, inappropriate, very rude. You know, it was also inappropriate and rude to lock up all those young black guys and break every record in incarceration that the Clintons did. I'd call that a little worse than inappropriate and rude. Now, if you thought that they had committed serious crimes, nobody's going to argue with you. That's not the conversation. But you know what they did. Okay, first strike was whatever. Some were serious, some were light. Some were, I remember, we covered those stories back in the day, stealing a slice of pizza. Some were serious, stealing a car. But a lot of those strikes were drug possession. Somebody had a joint on them. Somebody had this on them. Somebody had that on them. And even though blacks and whites did drugs at the same exact rate, and that's a fact proven out by studies, blacks were locked up at 4 times the rate. That was under the Clintons, and then followed up by George W. Bush. So that's as legitimate a question as you can have. When you use that racially loaded language to push this odious bill through, what can you answer for that? Now, the only thing I'd tweak about how Ashley Williams did, and I think what she did overall was wonderful, is she aggressively asked that question, and then I would have let Hillary try to answer it. As it turns out, she didn't answer it at all. And then do a follow-up. You paid $500. You have every right to be in that room. So, like, isn't that amazing? Like, donors get to be in there as long as you play patty cakes. But if you pay the $500 and you ask an aggressive question, now you got to go. Now, you give them an opening to remove you if you don't let her give you the answer. I would have preferred they went back and forth, and that would have been very, very interesting and instructive. But now some people are saying, hey, she shouldn't have done it at all, Ashley Williams. Are you crazy? Who was talking about this? We were talking about it. I didn't see anybody in the establishment media talking about it. The only other guy bringing it up was Ben Jealous, the former head of the NAACP. So it's as legitimate an issue as there is. She found a way to bring it up to the national stage. Perfect. She even paid to get in there. What else do you want from her? And so now, like I said, I disagree with a tiny bit with how she did it, but overall, I love that she had the courage to do it. Now, Hillary Clinton, how about her? How was her reaction? Everybody's, of course, talking about like, oh, yeah, the activists, Black Lives Matter people. She didn't even say she was with Black Lives Matter. Anyway, oh, you know how they are. No, I don't know how they are. Here's what I know. They're getting shot out there. They're getting killed out there. And in the Clinton years, thanks to the lobbying of Hillary Clinton, they were getting locked up for things that white people did too, but they didn't get locked up for. So now Hillary Clinton's reaction is, hey, you know what? Are you going to let me finish? And okay, I get that part. And then they escort her out. She goes, hey, nobody ever asked me that question. Well, actually, other Black Lives Matter had asked her that question in a sense. Why don't you take that moment to stop the Secret Service for a second and go, hold on. Please, I want to answer your question. Please stay with me. Now, if you keep talking, it's by the nature of this, because there's 99 other people in here, they're going to have to remove you. But I really want to answer your question, right? But she didn't do that. She just let them take her out of the building. She had paid her way in. She kept the money. Are you going to give the money back to Ashley Williams? That's a whole other question. And then she never answered the question. Okay, that's because it's a hard question to answer. Today, after thinking about it for a long time, having this be in the news, finally she came out and guess what? She acknowledged it and apologized. And there were all these people who were defending Hillary Clinton when we first ran this story. Oh, that's unfair, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. Apparently Hillary Clinton doesn't think it's unfair. She did do that. So here's her apology. In that speech, I was talking about the impact violent crime and vicious drug cartels were having on communities across the country and the particular danger they pose to children and families. Looking back, I shouldn't have used those words, and I wouldn't use them today. Okay. Now, I'm glad she put out that apology, and that was smart on her part. And now, one of the hashtag that Ashley Williams had there was hashtag which Hillary, right? Now, some of you have seen those videos. She says one thing, then another on gay marriage. No, I'm opposed to gay marriage. Later, oh, yeah, I'm for gay marriage. And we've seen that in half a dozen very prominent cases. Now, in this case, super predators, bring them to heel. Oh, now I need black voters in South Carolina. No, I shouldn't have used that language. Hashtag which Hillary? Very fair question. So now let's go to Ashley Williams one more time to ask her. They asked her, why did you do it? She said, I wanted to bring her to confront her own words. We did this because we wanted to make sure that black people are paying attention to her record, and we want to know what Hillary we are getting. That seems a fair question. Then she went on to say, Hillary Clinton has a pattern of throwing the black community under the bus when it serves her politically. She called our boys super predators in '96. Then she race baited when running against Obama in '08. Now she's a lifelong civil rights activist. I just want to know which Hillary's running for president, the one from '96, '08, or the new Hillary. Now, some are finally asking, hey, wait a minute, there were some issues in '08 that were uncomfortable when she was running against President Obama. That is coming to the front. Cornel West was on CNN. Brother West was on CNN yesterday, and he was talking about some of the prominent African Americans who are supporting Hillary Clinton all over TV, and he said they are a neo-political black political class that confuses the gravy train with the freedom train. Damn, Brother West dropping the elbow on those guys. So now there's a significant group of people going, whoa, let's take a real look at her record and see what we find. No wonder Hillary Clinton finds that very uncomfortable and would like to have you escorted from the building. This is an issue that is not going to pass. This is a very significant issue for Hillary Clinton, and it might lead to her unraveling. So it might not happen in South Carolina, but the more this reality comes out, the bigger trouble she's in, because that is her record. Young Turks.